Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Black and Gold podcast, where we bring you a special episode, the Captain's Catch-Up. That's right, we have the current Annan Athletic captain in the studio. We will chat about recent league games, obviously everything that's went on this season, what lies ahead for Annan this season, and we'll put your questions to the skipper as well. Pete, a little changed in format tonight, but a special episode, Captain's Catch-Up.
Yes.
Should be a good one, eh?
Absolutely, aye. See, we had to think on our feet with our guest falling ill, so quick phone call to the main man here, and he was more than happy to jump in, so it was brilliant.
I'm looking
helped
at
us out and all.
It should be class.
However, I think it's important to get his voice out there as well.
At this moment as well, we had a good long a review show on Monday was 50 odd minutes, which is normally about 30.
Mostly you talking, right?
Fucking usual.
It's better that way.
But it was kind of we went quite deep on Annan again, asked quite a few questions that were probably quite hard for you being in the backroom staff to answer. Just generally, football, you struggle to answer any questions about football. So it'll be good to hear from inside the camp.
Yes.
Right inside the camp, and there's no better man than obviously the captain.
Absolutely.
Who leads the team, and I'll be able to fill us in with everything that's going on inside, and again just the feelings around the club, the team. Let's have a little insight to some of the players and that as well, so it should be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, should we get on?
I think you should introduce him, Cammy.
Okay, let's bring it on. Right, here we go then. I would like to welcome your current Annan Athletic captain, Tam Muir, to the Black and Gold podcast. Tam, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Nimbar. Glad to be here. Buzzing.
Buzzing, look. Have you caught much of the podcast so far?
Yeah, I've not caught up on this week, to be fair, but I have watched it in recent weeks. But must admit, I just kind of get the bit for the Annan game, and then the rest of you kind of skip that.
Skip.
Listen, as long as we're getting the hits, we're not bothered. What do you make it? The studio, first time you've obviously been in here. Decent.
Really impressed with it. It's looking really good, and I think it's something that the club probably needed as well.
Just a little bit of exposure, get current ex-players in. I think the big thing for us when we started it certainly was that the fans get a kind of voice, and that interaction with the fans is so important.
Definitely. It gets, obviously, if the fans have got questions, they can get in touch with yourselves or whatever and get questions asked and answered the best we can, I think. So
yeah.
Aye.
All good?
Aye, absolutely. No, he's absolutely right. Kind of why. No point in shying away from it. If we can answer a question, then that's half the battle, isn't it? Keeps everyone up to date.
I think
from what we know anyway. Obviously, we don't know everything going on at the club, but we know
certainly. I don't know
things going on.
I don't know a lot, but it's great to get an insight. Obviously, being from Annan, being an Annan fan myself, that you want to see the
youth
club
coach.
Yes, youth coach, P1 class. No, but it is. It's always
I struggle with the Disclosure Scotland. Did you know? I struggled too.
Every fucking time. Honest to God, man. No, but it is good. It's good to again get a voice, and certainly I think is Tam for Toddy.
Toddy was in the live show,
obviously a live one, so that was a bit different as well. So Tam will be
Tam's the first player that
first
people
one in
like.
Got to turn that heater off because it's roasting again. I'm sweating already. Right, so Tam, where to start? There's no better place to start than the weekend. Or obviously, there could be a better place to start than the weekend for you, but certainly from the fans, I think they'll want to hear. Just again, generally your take on the weekend. Disappointing weekend for Annan. Give us your thoughts on it.
Obviously it was no secret we were missing a lot of players, but obviously I think we've got a squad, and that's what a squad's for. Obviously, if you're missing players, you should be able to cover. But I think when it's that amount of players you're missing and such key players, then it's always going to be difficult. And I feel like Inverness are in a bit of a false position, obviously, as well. They are in a false position with their points deduction, which probably makes people look at it more of that we're in the same position in the league and it should be a closer game. Inverness are full time and they've got a lot of good players, and with their points deduction they'd be right up there. So it was always going to be a tough game if we had a full squad, but obviously missing the key players as well. But at the end of the day, on Saturday we weren't good enough at the same time. So
yeah, again, probably I would say a little bit of frustration might be that you've had decent results in the last few weeks. The Queen's one being the one obviously on the top of my head, and then you had Steny away, which was a good point against a very good team who are up there trying to push for promotion as well. So probably the frustration was that you were at home. I get it. Listen, you had a number of players missing, and as you say, they're key players, so it's difficult to replace these guys, especially with guys that haven't had a lot of game time as well this season. So it's a big ask for them, but that's probably part of the frustration as well, because you were on a wee bit of a decent run and had some good results recently.
Aye, obviously we've been picking up points, not so much wins, but going to difficult away venues and getting points, and it's we've really tried to have good home form this year and then pick up what we can away from home. So I totally get the frustration, but the players are just as frustrated as anybody at the same time. But I think we actually started the game pretty well, and our shape went a bit, and then we conceded a goal for a cross. But we'd been told to aim for the back post on crosses quite often, and shocked they score for a cross to the back post. So the second and third goal are disappointing. Obviously the penalties are it's a silly challenge in the box, and a corner for the second one as well, which set pieces are massive at our level, to be fair. So that's the more frustrating thing for us, I think, is the kind of manner of the goals.
Go on, get it out.
No,
get it out.
I was waiting to see if you were actually going to talk there.
No, get it out. Go on.
No, like you say, it's tough, isn't it? Obviously your second spell back at the club.
Yeah.
You were captain before you went though as well, weren't you, for a spell?
I had a few spells, I was vice captain at Big Swings.
Yeah.
And he had a spell, he was out injured, and I was captain then as well. So
it's nothing new, that as in responsibility or leadership or anything like that. So it's just obviously with a fresh group of players, although you know a lot of the boys anyway from playing with and against. It's a different concoction of putting all the boys together and having to. This is, we're kind of talking about this on the live show, isn't it? So we're on about momentum. We're on about saying how it does take time for players to gel or teams to gel and get used to each other. But see when you go to like Steny, and again we'll talk about the players that we're missing.
Yeah.
But when we go, as you mentioned, a team game or a squad game, we go there and have a decent, really good team. You actually scored, didn't you?
Yeah.
And we utilised a lot of the squad, so it's hard to put your finger on what it is that's wrong. But it maybe just shows how important the likes of AD is to us, or even Max or whoever else is injured. Big Tommy, obviously, but he wasn't there that day at Steny. But other performances at the start of the year. So it is. Yes, it is a massive squad game, but how big a player these boys are that are missing, Ken, it does kind of highlight that, I think.
I think it's got a massive impact. Obviously, Tommy's been missing for a large part of the season, but then you kind of, I think when we were first missing the big man, you kind of struggled to adapt, but then we found a way to deal with that. And then you look at the Steny game, you've obviously got Brini in defence, but then that lets Willie play somewhere else. Obviously, you've got Max in, so there's been a lot of big changes to it. Luca's been brilliant playing out wide. Aiden gets suspended, he has to then go through the middle where it's not his natural position. And I think, obviously going back to Saturday there, we don't create too many chances, which is obviously going to be a big frustration for home supporters as well. They're turning up to watch the game and we've not got.
There you go, but it's the boys that are maybe creating chances that maybe was Luca or it maybe was like for instance AD. But I mean, it's tough. Just with taking a couple of them out, and just the whole dynamic of the team changes.
I know what you're saying, right? So again, certainly the questions I want to throw at you, and probably are difficult questions to answer, is that I know what you just said there, that it's hard to put your finger on how it's not working all the time, but certainly for me, I look at the goals you concede. 37 goals in 21 games. That's almost 2 goals a game. It's touching probably 1.8 goals a game. You're not going to win a game if you're conceding that amount of goals, and that's just almost a fact. That's asking you to score 3 goals every game to win a game. Which isn't realistic.
And
so
when you look at our goals for,
exactly. So again, you look at the stats and you go that Dumbarton have conceded 38. They're rightly, obviously, sitting bottom of the league at the moment. I know they've had the deduction as well, but you have conceded 37. You then look at the next team, which is Cove Rangers, who have conceded 25. That's 12 goals difference between you guys and Cove. And again, they're obviously scoring a lot more. So I think looking at that's a huge Achilles heel for you guys, no?
I definitely. I think I definitely noticed that we went through a spell this season that if we were conceding the first goal, we really struggled. There was times we went and conceded them like I think it was Steny away.
Aye.
A short period of time. We're 2-0 down. We get back to 2-1. We miss a penalty to go 2-2 at half time, and we come out in the second half and we concede 3 goals. And I think it's about 7 minutes.
Yep.
And I think there's an element of, I don't know what to say, inexperience, but we did seem to have a habit of when we conceded a goal, we lost maybe our shape.
We're vulnerable.
And we were a bit vulnerable. The games that we've went ahead in this season, I think we've probably, if we look back at the stats, we've probably done really, really well. And as you say, the amount of goals we've conceded, it's not good enough.
It just makes it really difficult when you throw them figures out and you say almost 1.8 goals a game. How do you win a game like that? That's really hard.
Making it hard to start
it's
with.
Really, and I know what you're saying. There has been certainly a few games that you've conceded heavily, so that adds to these numbers. Of course, it does.
You've got, I think there was Alloa away was maybe 5-0.
Yep.
You've got Steny away was 5-1.
Arbroath 4-0.
And Arbroath at home was 4-0.
4-0.
And I think there was possibly actually another game.
So you've got Kelty 3-0.
Inverness, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a number of heavy defeats, but as you say, that then tells a pattern that if you concede a goal or two, then it kind of rocks you a little bit, and there's maybe, I'm not saying a mentality thing, but as you say, maybe a little bit of inexperience, but that's something I think you can truly talk about, and certainly when I've been in teams that you would maybe have that conversation, identify these things. I can't remember who it was it Andy was saying about conceding in a certain period in the game?
Yeah, first 15 minutes we were bad. We were conceding in the first 15 minutes and then go on. But I also think that sometimes if you concede a goal, you don't need to go and then score straight away.
No.
And I think sometimes maybe you concede a goal and you try and commit forward to try and get back into the game, and it actually leaves you open for another goal.
Yeah.
Like to concede another goal.
I think you're totally bang on there. I think guys with experience as well will realise that if you concede in the first half, it's a long time. And again, if you're still sitting at 1-0 going into sort of 70 minutes, naturally the team that's 1-0 up starts to sit back and try and protect their lead.
Yeah.
So you would have that natural momentum in the last 20 minutes. So as you say, once they go 1, 2, 3, game's over. Probably even at 2, it's really difficult to try and get 3 points.
That was a disappointing thing for Saturday there. We go in at 1-0 down at half time, and then don't know what minute the second goal was, but I think it would have been quite early in the second half. In the first 50 minutes of the second half, maybe.
The corner one.
Yeah, the corner. And then again, you find you're missing Brainy. I don't want to go on about that because obviously that's why you have got a squad, but you're missing Brainy, Tommy, Max. They're boys that are going to pick up for you on a Saturday.
Yep.
The boy that scores, Paul McGibbon's picking him up, and it's Paul McGibbon's
difficult
picking up in a box. It's difficult, but
Aye.
at the same time you can do better. But we have to. These are the players we've got at the minute. These players are out injured. Some of them aren't going to be back for a number of weeks. So it's a position we're in, and it's us that have got to kind of sort it out. So
what needs to change?
We need to start winning games.
Getting
points on the board, taking chances, tightening it up at the back. It's in front of you.
I know.
It's the stats are there. We know what we need to do, what we need to stop doing. It's just finding a way to get it all together.
Cammy was obviously you were mentioning it. Like if we concede first, we seem to panic. But if we do score first, we tend to look after the lead a wee bit better than.
I know I'm saying that, but then it's like when we go 1-0 down on Saturday there, like I genuinely don't feel like.
I was going to ask you that.
No, that's
the game's gone. You don't feel like that.
It's not in your head, or it just seems to. Sometimes just seems to happen. You try and get the boys together, and.
But again, saying that, if you're and it's just you personally that you're not feeling, we've conceded a goal, that's us done the day, we're defeated, we struggle to score a lot, and is it could be a case of a little bit of inexperience that you're going too expansive too early in a game and allowing the other team, or is it just lapses of concentration that are costing you? Because you said it was a set piece, obviously, that the second goal was on Saturday.
I think it can be a mixture of the two. I don't think there's one specific pattern of.
That's a big strength
apart from
of theirs,
maybe
set pieces,
Yeah.
corners.
Yeah.
That's what Tam was on about. They highlighted that. But they were back post. They aim for the back post a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Set pieces, and there a lot of success from them. So it wasn't just us they're doing it against. But
Yeah.
obviously, yes, we could have defended it better. But
Yeah.
that is something that they've been quite successful with.
Yeah, no,
As a
no.
set
And
piece.
listen, I'm not just trying to speak about this one game, because Inverness, as you say, are in a false position.
Yeah.
Generally, if they don't have their deduction, they're sitting joint second in the league, I think, roughly.
Mental, innit?
But it just shows you how good they are, and they've obviously
Fucking Inverness.
But do you know what I mean? It's not it's not just that one game. It's obviously we're speaking, and probably when you see, I went and watched the Queen's game at Palmerston,
Right.
and I thought yous were better than them. Over the 90 minutes, I felt as if they had the first half, but they didn't really create that many chances. Jamie had a couple of saves that you'd probably expect them to make, but they weren't like carving you open.
The goal
And then the
that they scored
second,
was outside the box.
Aye.
Not a fluke by any.
No, it was a great goal. It was a brilliant goal.
They never cut us open for it.
no, but again, it was, and you'll break it down. You'll say that it was avoidable from your point of view. You had possession, you lose it, they break away in the score. But the second half, you've absolutely battered them. You've played some really good football as well. And again, that's against probably, I know Queens aren't sitting near the top at the moment, but they are one of the top teams in the league.
Yeah.
There's no getting away from that.
Similar to Inverness with a full time.
Yeah.
Kind of, they should be up there, Queens.
Absolutely, the pressure's on for them to get up there. But I just feel like, is that the frustration again from people looking at going, well, they can do it against the better teams. Again, you've had good results against Steny sitting in second in the league. You're drawing away from home, and then just that sort of sucker punch again at home, the momentum kind of falls out a wee bit.
I think obviously the day at Palmerston, I think we played football that day.
You did.
And we passed it about, and I think we were the better team on the ball as well. Similar to Steny away, we were taking the ball in difficult positions at time, but then it helps you.
Mm-hmm.
And on Saturday there, I feel like we kind of turned down taking the ball, but that comes for probably myself as well, not taking it for Jamie.
Is
and
it
not
confidence
getting us-
as well from boys that have not been playing as much game time and they're doubting themselves a
Probably.
wee bit, or just try to play themselves into the game safely?
I think it was kind of subconsciously you were missing quite a few players. So the first couple, it was we went through a spell, as we mentioned, conceding the first 15 minutes.
Yep.
So we were trying to get maybe not playing out for the back the first 15, get through the game, and then start taking the ball. And I think on Saturday we've kind of started like that, and then just continued, maybe going a bit longer than usual. Whereas we've got good players in the team. Gowser takes the ball, even if he's got a man right up his back, and you don't give him the ball in the edge of his own box, he's raging. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And these are players that you need to get on the ball, like him, Toddy, Paul Smith. I think we turned that down on Saturday, and that's not our strength, because we have got the option to go longer when we've got a focal point up front. But obviously we had Luca filling in, so that was probably the day that we should have been looking to go on the ball more and pass it out. But
I think the guys you mentioned there, with regards to Paul McGowan, Paul Smith, Toddy, again, as you say them names, you're like, the long ball doesn't suit them. Like that, if you miss them out, the game's almost bypassing them, which again, then you refer to Luca Ross playing up front, who it isn't his game. It's different if you've got a Tommy Goss up there or yourselves up there, physical presence to try and hold it in, be a nuisance, buy free kicks, get you up the pitch. But then when you're missing them guys out, and you're also your striker, you're not playing to his strength, so he's almost missed out of the game, then it's a huge part of your game sort of falling away straight away, isn't it?
aye, definitely. I totally agree with what you've said there. Aye, you've hit the nail on the head, to be honest.
It's sometimes you need to be brave, and you might go, and I get it, it's hard and it's easy sitting aside. It's easy for me just to sit here and speak about it, because I've been there and played football, and it's much more difficult than just talking about it. But I think you sometimes in them games you need to be brave and just say, do you know what, we're going to have to play today, because see if we play long, the game's going to bypass us, we're going to lose the game.
Yeah, we've probably played right into their hands on Saturday as well, to be fair. But I think they were winning. If we did go long, they were winning it, and the rotations in the middle of the park were
good.
really good. They've got some top players, and I think Bavage, they've just signed a loan.
He's good.
Aberdeen, is it?
Yep.
He was good. Longstaff?
Yep.
He's brilliant as well. They've got top players, and there was probably too many turnovers of possession from us, and aye, they've made the most of it. To be
But
honest,
Willie was trying to play it on. In fairness, to him,
I know he was.
Sometimes it's like you say, it's maybe weren't in the position to play, or maybe the rest were not in the same wavelength. Sometimes, and it looks like he's trying to overplay, but it's just like fucking hell. And then you think, just go along, but then you're like, so then you're sacrificing that. So it's catch-22, isn't it?
I think we could have played more.
Yes.
Maybe even for the setups, for the goal kicks, taking it from Jamie,
Just being
getting
brave.
somebody to drop in, somebody going wide or whatever, and we could have probably set up better. But it's easy sitting here and saying that now.
100%
No,
hindsight.
totally. So I'll take you back to the start of the season and just wonder again. I don't see a lot of Annan, so just I want to ask the question that again. Obviously, the first game of the season you beat Inverness 1-0 in the League Cup, and then you have a really fairly decent League Cup run with regards to the Bonnyrigg game, which ended up 2-2.
Yep.
You beat Arbroath 3-0 comfortably up there, and then you obviously had a good game against Dundee. I've seen the highlights of that game, and you were very competitive. Spoke to Simon Murray, and he was really complimentary of how good Annan were, because that game was at Brecon, wasn't it?
It was at Brecon,
so yeah, so
We were good that day. I know
yeah,
we were good that day.
So what has changed? Is it these? It's probably referring more to Inverness and Alloa. Have they got to grips with the league a little bit better? Is it purely you guys are missing key players at this moment in time? Is that the kind of?
I think obviously we are missing players, but I think you look at Alloa are a top established kind of part-time team in Scotland. They've been in the Championship. They've got a lot of boys that have played together for a number of years, and they know the league.
Good experience.
I mean Inverness, did they have a poor start to the season? But obviously they've came down for the Championship. They've still got, even though they went in administration, they never lost too many players. So I think the likes of Alloa and Inverness, they're good sides. So we had a good start to the season and won the first two league games, didn't we?
Cove away
and
as well.
Inverness at home, was
it? Yep. So no, he's had a good start to the season. And then have you changed style or anything or formation or
no?
Not
I think
really.
It's been the same same style all season. To be fair, that Willie's put like shape or whatever that he's put us into. So there's been a couple of times we've had to change shape because of personnel or whatever, but relatively it's been the same idea, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Aye, definitely. And we're touching on that on the Monday night show, so that we were saying that he doesn't, like, Willie has got a style of play. He has got a philosophy and identity. He wants us to play, and like Tam's saying, sometimes it does get tweaked because personnel or circumstances, but ultimately we should be strong enough as players, the guys that are playing.
Which I agree with, though. Sometimes you do need to tweak it because again,
it's adaptation.
You're looking at Spurs and all. Ange keeps playing the same way and he keeps on not getting results. He's going to end up getting sacked. So there comes a point that you're like, hold on a minute here, right? I need to change just to get a result, or even digging in. That's what I'm saying about conceding a lot of goals. Is it do you put more focus on saying, look, and I'm not saying be more defensive, but do you do a little bit of work on, I don't know, just being really tight and robust, a lot of defensive work in training? I don't know. I know. Do you know what I mean? It's just I'm asking the question of, is there an answer to how you change conceding 1.8 goals to bringing that down to 0.5, which will give you a chance of winning a game?
I don't know really. Like we work on our shape and whatever. I think a big thing in the league is like going on a run. If you go and end up on a bit of a bad run, it can be really difficult to get out of.
A run either way, isn't it?
But on the flip side, that you put a run of results together and confidence is up. Like
it's no long moving it, isn't it? Of changing the league format.
The league's tight. It's tight.
It's actually it's mad this year how competitive it is. And
do you feel that in every game?
Yeah.
The competitive edge that you're almost like, we can win this game, but we can easily lose. Like you know what, you need to play well to win the game.
You're not getting any gimmies on a Saturday in this league, to be fair.
Do you feel the difference from last season? Is there any difference?
No, I think obviously last season was pretty much the same. Obviously maybe taking Falkirk and Hamilton out of it.
Yep.
They were the games that you would, even
big
a
games,
point, it was you would take anything from them games. Any other game you were confident you could win, but you knew if you weren't at it, you weren't going to get out of the game. Even in City, when they lost all their players, they were a tough game.
Yeah, yep.
So I think it is just as competitive, but without two teams,
two top
running away at the
teams.
top. Yeah.
I was going to say, when you're on about like defensive stuff, Jim Chapman used to have amazing swings, would have to stand in front of the middle of the goals, and the strikers would be like getting the ball across the pitch, and they would just be hitting it from about 18 yards out. Main swings have to just try and block it. just to try and get in the road it.
I hope the gaffer doesn't bring that.
Pedro, bring that drill to training on first day. Fucking two black eyes, fucking Tam Gans onto the
Just
pitch.
get in the way of that, right?
You do say that, but I don't think, like, you can work on a shape or whatever in defending, but when a ball comes into your box, like, personally, you've got to go and win it or block a ball or defend it, or you don't, and it's easy to switch off, but there's nothing the manager can do at training that's going to stop somebody switching off and dropping a man, running off him, or, know what I mean? He's like...
Well, we spoke about in the review show on Monday was quite a lot. We had a kind of good conversation about communication, which obviously when I was a goalie, I felt as if it was probably a big part of my game, that whereas you would try and communicate with your defenders, I would like to move them into positions to almost reduce the amount of traffic that was coming my way and things I actually had to do in a game, because I'm a lazy bastard, you know. So
but it's anticipating, isn't it?
It is. So it's organising. And I was saying to Pete that, again, even when we were attacking, I found that probably the biggest time that I was talking to my right back, making sure he was tucked in. We were talking about defender one being in front, one being behind, switched on. I was always constantly talking to him, because again, you're so vulnerable when you've got the ball. Have you got that in your side at the moment?
I think obviously there is. We do communicate, we do talk, but I think you have got the element of, I'll be honest, Jamie's, it's probably because I played with Flem behind me last year.
Yep.
Flem was probably really loud, organising. Jamie is a bit quieter, but he's very young, and he's a great goalkeeper. He's kept us in many games, made some brilliant saves, and we'd probably be in a worse position. We would be in a worse position without Jamie. He's got us some valuable points this season, but he could be louder. He could.
But I wouldn't just put the onus on him. I would put the onus on everyone. So again, I just think it's a general thing. I think is it falling out of football a little bit? I would probably say yes. That there's not as much communication as there used to be.
I totally agree with that. So obviously I was going to start with Jamie, and then it's like, I think me and Brini do when I was playing beside Brini, organising and trying to talk. But I also think we've maybe got a bad habit of, and it's not anybody personally, sometimes I feel like if we're attacking up the right, I've spoke to a few boys about this, if we're attacking up the left, you're actually physically having to shout at your right back to pull in, or the same on the other side, if we go down the right and the right back's up, and try to get the left back to come in. And I've tried to say a couple of times to boys, you shouldn't really need to be told that. You know what I mean? Like, you know your position, you know the ball's going down that side, you need to tuck in.
Yep.
If I'm trying to organise you to tuck in, I could be organising something else if you're just doing it because you know what to do. You know what I mean? But that's not anybody personally.
No, and then on the flip side is, it's a good habit.
Yeah. I was
just
almost
saying,
a bit
fucking in, and it's just fucking everyone's alert.
It's habits from everyone, though. So it's habits from, as you say, you saying it all the time, but then them soon realising, going, fuck, we're attacking doing Ryan's side, so fuck it.
Jai comes in, or
Jai or Rico comes in, and he automatically picks up that inside position where he's in a good defensive position, but if they want to transition it to the other side, then he can expand into that position. That's fine, but it's like, it's just habits, isn't it? It's just, and there's small details. I'm not saying you're even conceding goals from that, but we had the conversation of,
we're talking about leadership, communication.
That's just the kind of communication side that I was saying, but I'm guilty of sometimes. I've been caught a
Expecting
couple of
other
times
people
this
to do it.
season, or when we, as you say, when we've got the ball and there's a quick turnover and it's headed clear and the striker drops in and gets into his feet, whereas me and whoever's playing beside me shouldn't be letting that happen. Know what I mean? So it's not just coming for maybe Jamie not talking at the back or a fullback not talking in. It's right through the whole team, and everybody's got their own responsibility.
Totally, and see them small details, as you say. If you are attacking, the ball then gets cleared and you're in front of them, the attack then starts again.
Yeah.
So you're just relentless, and then teams go, fucking hell, we can't get out here. And then are picking up every second ball. And you always think, like, as a player, I can always mind going, we lost every second ball. Like, how many times did you say that when you were a player going, fucking couldn't get second balls today? And it's just like anticipating being in them right positions that gives you a chance of getting them.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Yeah. No, I do. I know. But it's just, a lot of it comes from experience as well, because experience about if you've not got the most experienced player sitting beside you, for instance, say you've got or you see your Gowser and you've got someone inexperienced sitting beside you at centre mid, the onus is on Gowser then telling you, fucking tuck in here, because that's got a fucking drop 9 times out of 10 it's coming in at you from a knockdown off Eddie or Tam or whoever. But if you are the experienced player, or the inexperienced player, sorry, you need to listen. You need to take on board what's going on. But that will come with experience, as long as you're open to being told what's going on. So you can't. Sometimes young players ding at you, and they don't want to fucking hear you sometimes. And then there's a different problem. However, once it gets battered into them.
But then 2 or 3 times, see, when I was playing, like 2 or 3 times, if I was playing with a younger guy, you wouldn't be harsh on him, but you'd be going, fucking hell, by the way, I've told you that last 3 weeks. You got to fucking start doing it off your own back. And then, because you're doing it for their benefit, you're not, and your benefit, obviously, and the team's benefit, but you're doing it to help them, to make sure that they're not going to be the one that gets pulled up because you concede a goal because they're in the wrong position.
I think too many people sometimes take getting a telling personally these days, and
absolutely,
you know what I mean. So it is a difficult one, but I've seen a wee bit that Jai was getting it tight as well for some supporters and that I'd seen online.
Right.
And Jai's, it's not a finished article by any means, but Seaford being young, he's somebody that wants to learn and wants to develop. Like, you can have a pop at him or take him aside, and he's really keen to learn, to be fair. So that is a credit to him, because there's not actually too many young lads that come and get involved that are keen to do that.
Plus, the thing, he's come from a good calibre. I know, he's been dropped down from Partick Thistle, so he's been in a good environment.
I've got a lot of time for Jai Hunter. He is a good guy,
and he's got a bit about him and all. In fairness to him, 'cause so like you're saying, if folk are giving him a pop, he'll not that will really affect him. I don't think, will it?
I'd like to see a bit more in a game. The way he trains, like I've been up against him in training, and
aggressive.
He is, isn't he? And it's
strong.
He could do if he took that into a Saturday, it'd be brilliant.
It's maybe just a wee bit of confidence thing from him as well, being young. So
and potentially being out of position. So you're not comfortable in your surroundings a wee bit, or you're feeling a wee bit of fish out of water. But
right, looking ahead, Montrose Saturday, home again. Again, we've spoke about no gimmies in this league. Tough game. They're a team that have been together for quite a while and are good at this level, to be honest. They're struggling a wee bit this season. They're not as consistent as I thought they would have been, but bounce back, is that what you're looking for? I
definitely need a big reaction for the weekend. Montrose aren't that far in front of us, so obviously a 6-pointer, as you would maybe call it, to get within touching distance of them. But again, not going to be easy. You've got good players. You've got Kane Hester up front, scored 20 goals. You've got Gardine, got experience with Sean Dillon. Is it Blair Lions, is it? They've got some brilliant players, a brilliant squad, and Saturday's going to be massive, because I'd probably imagine that Montrose will probably pick up for now to the end of the season, so we need to make sure that we do that, but better than what they do it, and catch them and finish above them.
It's crazy when you look at the table, right, and Queens were a point over, what was it, 3 points above us at one point.
The 5 off the top now. It's so
just a couple of decent results. What a difference!
Run.
But again, you can only look after yourself. You can only influence what you can.
Runs have got to start somewhere as well.
Exactly.
Good
again,
runs and bad runs.
You look at Montrose; they've only won. They have won 5 games. They've won 6, so there's no massive difference in it. I know they're just sitting above you in the league. They've played a game less, but they're not in great form. Drew last one.
Concede a lot though.
Again, as you say, that experience in the team, so it will be a tough game, but at least it's a home game and a chance again, for the fans to come out and see is you then get a run of games. You've got Kelty and then Dumbarton at home, which will be massive. There's no getting away from it. You need to pick up points from the 2 before that, but then you go to the Dumbarton game. Seems as if it'll be quite it's a big game now, because Inverness are ramping up. We know that they'll probably pick up quite a lot of points between now and the end of the season, so it's up to you guys to do the same.
Aye, definitely. Obviously, every game's massive, but we can only probably look at the Montrose game on Saturday and deal with that, and probably not get too far ahead of ourselves. And
one at a time.
Yeah, and
shite answer that, innit?
What?
One at a time. Take each game.
It is take each game as it comes.
Hell.
You can't, especially if we're trying. Sorry, Tam, I'm cutting you off here.
No, go on.
No, I was going to say, especially if we're waiting for players to come back. So we get AD suspension out the road on Saturday. That's he's eligible for the week after.
I think deal with Montrose on Saturday. Start trying to get a good run together. I mean, I think the last 2 home games, maybe I get this wrong, is it 3-0 against Inverness and 4-0 against Arbroath?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
So I mean, it's Saturday's massive, especially if we're trying to get the fans back on side, because if the fans start getting us not supporting us as much, then it's not going to help us anyway. We need them right behind us, supporting us. I know it's maybe a small stadium, you're getting maybe 300 or 400 at a game, but when the fans are behind you, especially maybe in the second half, if you're shooting down towards the terrace, and it gives you that extra 5% that sometimes you need.
Class sometimes, isn't it?
Again. So I was at the Queen's game, and again you feel the support from the fans. You could feel the affection between the players and the fans, especially after the game when you came over. So it's so important when the club is struggling at the moment, they get behind you and stick with you.
It's vital, to be fair. It does definitely give an extra 5-10% at Palmerston. It gives you a massive lift on the pitch, and especially later into the game, and even the home games, if you're shooting into the terrace in and they're supporting you, it's as a boost. So we definitely need them to stick with us and keep encouraging and supporting the boys, because it's a lot of time between now and the end of the season to put things right, to be honest with you.
I think there's only 15 games left. I'm sure it is about that.
Yeah, there's not many. So it'll soon ramp up, and we're closing in, because we're nearly at the end of January, aren't we? So at the end of the day, it's normally the start of May is the last sort of game weekend. First weekend in May is normally the last game, and then you go into the playoffs and stuff. So it'll ramp up, it'll come fast, and as you say, perfect time to start is Montrose at home. Get a positive result, and try and carry that on. Obviously, Kelty have got a new manager in after that. I know you don't want to speak about any further than Montrose, but but you've got to look ahead. You look at fixtures, you're kind of bouncing in between a home game, away game. It's kind of that sort of rhythm for the next 5 or 6 games, isn't it, when you look at it? So it gives you an opportunity that you're not away from home for too long either.
So it's definitely, like, obviously I did say what I focused on Montrose game, but there's a run of fixtures there that were more than capable. Cheers, Pete. We're more than capable of putting a run together and getting points, and then if you can start on a small run, even a win, a draw, a win, or whatever you put together, then it's building confidence in the squad, and you're getting boys back. And finish the season really strongly. I don't see it's still tight enough. You can be squeezing out a mid-table out of the season, and that'd be a massive positive for the club, and I'm sure the fans would be buzzing with that. Well,
that's where I was going actually next, was what is the kind of ambitions from you this season? Obviously personally, I'm presuming it's just to keep, obviously you'll be captain for the rest of the season, but keep fit, keep playing week in, week out, and where did the club go? What's the ambitions?
I think the ambition was obviously progression, so the club had came up for League 2 and we managed to finish 8th last season and stay up, but obviously like any club you want to be seeing steady progression. It's not going to happen every year, but I think obviously with the way the league is, a good run you could get into mid-table. I think obviously the promotion playoffs, I'll be honest, are probably at the window now, but that's at the start of the season didn't see any reason why we couldn't get up there, and I think we've got the squad that we could have done it if kind of we had full squad and a better runs and whatever. But I think I didn't want to be sitting here and saying, well, we're trying to survive in the league, because
better than that.
We're better than that, yeah, 100%, and that's absolute bare minimum from us. That's kind of the last resort would be to finish 8th, but I don't see why we can't finish higher up than that.
And the full, again, I don't know, but the full changing room, everyone, you still get that feeling that everyone's of the same mindset, that absolutely we're not scrapping against relegation here. We are looking to try and get on a run to push ourselves up there.
This is, and I'm not saying this is one of the better changing rooms I've been in, and I'm actually slightly surprised by the tough runs that we've been on, because we have been on a couple of, obviously we've been on not too bad a run up to Saturdays we spoke about, but before that we were on quite a tough run, and I was actually quite surprised that nobody kind of started turning, that not one point did you see any part of that, but it might be needed to get a bigger reaction at the boys, but no, it's a good changing room, and all the boys still firmly believe we're all together, and it's just more disappointment and frustration at times with some of the results we've had and in the manner that it's been, but everybody's together in there, so it's a big positive, that.
Aye, there's not a problem with the changing room at all. Great lads, actually.
Good.
Emotional. No, it is great lads, really good. There's no, like Tam's saying, there's no snakes in there at all, is it? It's a right good bunch.
Just
me
sneaking in like that. What's the boys saying? Going back to the gaffer and tell them.
Grass.
No, they're a right good bunch of boys.
Anything else you want to grill?
We've been quite negative about this whole thing.
No, it's not negative.
We've been addressing it. No, I mean, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it sounds negative, doesn't it? The way we're having a go on.
I mean,
we're addressing a poor run of form.
Stuff needs asked and answered, and
exactly.
we're kind of trying to get there. So
there's no point in not answering and not asking the questions, because I think that's what everyone wants to hear. And again, it'll probably, I think when people hear the answers, they'll be a little bit more upbeat and thinking, well, look, the changing room hasn't gone, or the boys haven't down tools, or again, injuries would keep on, and it's an easy throwaway comment, but when you name the names and you've got a tight squad in League One and the Fleck, it's huge, it's massive, and we said that on Monday, and you just got to reiterate that the big players that you're missing.
I think obviously it's probably no secret the budget and they've got in the league, and the kind of geography position. Yes. Kind of don't know what word I would use there, but
geographical.
That would be. You're going to get that word in Dalbeatty, but try to get players down here. The budget, it's not easy. He's not got an easy job to get boys down here, and that's kind of. He's doing a lot of stuff for the players to try and make it a good environment to be in, and I think that's a big part of maybe some of the disappointment in the changing room, is we feel like we're letting the staff down, because the staff give us everything they can for us to perform, even going down to like the likes of the food after training and stuff. Andy and Peter was in the cabin before training to give you food before training, so it's a good environment to be in. But
that's a good thing to hear, because I always thought when I played my best, or felt like I wanted to play my best, you're never always going to play your best. You want to always play, but certainly, so when you've got managers you care about, and you feel like they're going above and beyond to try and, as you say, create a great environment, give you everything they can, a platform to go and perform, that's when it hurts you when you get beat a little bit more. Yeah. And obviously you're hurt whenever you get beat, but I always felt when I was a player and I really liked the manager and I thought he was doing more and above and beyond for me, then you'd be like, take a little bit more pride, and you're hurting. So that's good that, again, that togetherness, you guys are recognising, going, fucking hell, we're letting the manager down a wee bit here. We need to pick up.
Definitely. I think obviously throw it back probably a bit further to the Fraserburgh when we had the disaster in the Scottish Cup. As a result, the bus on the way back down the road was solely on that you've let the fans down that have travelled in the runners first and foremost, but you've let the staff down as well. So there is that element in the changing room that's probably you're feeling like you're letting people down more than anything else.
You'll never let me down. My expectation of you is that low. The players will never let me down.
But it's good hearing that.
100%. Totally get what you're saying.
That people care, because that's a big fact. And certainly I've been in changing rooms with people don't care, and I know them. I know they don't care. So again, when you hear that, you get that. Them boys, they'll absolutely graft their arse off to go and get a result, because they do care. Mm-hmm. So it'll be good for the fans to hear that sort of insight.
I think, like, me and Andy kind of spoke about it before. Like, and I was right. What I'm saying is the boys will never see if we know that you don't give a fuck. you have a different problem
altogether.
It's not like we're in the boat with you. Again, it's not like it's us and yous or Willie, myself, Willie, Andy, Belly, Greg, Karen, Amy, Kieran, Ken, Matty, everyone, Callum, David.
Who have you forgot?
Your Auntie Elaine. But you know what I mean? It's hold the full. I was trying to get everyone involved there, but we're all. It's everyone. It's not like you're letting us. We're together. It's a thing that we're all going in the same direction. So that's what I was trying to mean. You're not letting us down.
It's us.
It's a complete thing. Togetherness, so that's and like you say, Willie, he does go above and beyond a lot of the times off his own back, which is fully appreciated by everyone, obviously. That's the things that the fans don't see.
But again, let's not be too negative, because we're off the back at a disappointing home result, but then
sorry for him saying that. He's fucking coming with a Grim Reaper on, isn't
fucking listen, I've got to ask these questions, alright? Listen,
not
letting you away from it, alright? No, but again, we touched on it. You've had decent results, so you've got to be mindful of them. Recently as well, Steny away, second in the league there. Queens, as we spoke about, away, full-time team. So going into the match Saturday, hopefully you can get together, put a good performance on, 3 points, and then the 3 points basically puts you right up the arse of Montrose, 1 point away from them. So that's, as you said, it was that sort of 6 point, as you're saying. So, and again, hopefully Inverness don't get a result, and it just puts that little bit of gap in it. So there's a lot still to be positive about.
If we can start a run there, Montrose, like you say, it's a good place to start. Like you say, it's got to start somewhere. Then we've got Kelty away.
Yeah,
we're rolling to Kelty, tough place, new manager, momentum. They've had a
bad
good
day
start.
there the last time we were there.
You got sent off.
I seen that. Pete said you half somebody on the halfway line, smash somebody.
Pete can't talk to me about tackles.
Right in front of us, smashed him.
Pete screaming, smash him. Listen to Pete the last time I listened to Pete. Genuine side, laugh joke. It was I've tried to basically boot the ball off the boy, and he's got a touch to it early, and
you booted him instead.
Amazing. But I mean, we're more than capable of going to Kelty and getting a win at Kelty as well. So we just need to focus on week by week getting points on the table, and I think obviously the manager said he was hoping to get a couple of bodies in this week, or at least one in his interview after the game on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to seeing who that is, and obviously that'll be a big boost to the squad as well. Add numbers and competition, and then getting boys back, and we can hopefully have a big
because can we mention, even when you bring a couple of faces into training, it's a wee lift, isn't it? Like fucking hell, who's that? It is. It's always nice. So that will be it'll be a good boost. Positivity.
Right, Tam, thanks for that. We always have.
Thanks for that, Tam. I feel fantastic after that.
I was just reading. I was reading where I was going next. I always slow my voice down.
Well done, Tam.
Thanks a lot, Tam, for that. It was good. It was great insight to what's going on. Again, the feeling around the club from obviously the captain as well. So it's good to hear. Good for everyone else to get a little feeling of what's going on. And yes, we'll turn the corner. Of course we will. Of course we will. As we always do, though.
Yes.
I know this is a slightly different captain's catch-up. This is the edition of, but we're still going to play a higher or lower game, Tam. So hope you're ready for this. Are you?
Aye.
Run through it for him, Cammy.
So, higher or lower game, what we do is...
Their Wi-Fi's no Sagid and Dalbeatty. There's maybe never seen it.
30 seconds on the clock. Pedro whistles you in. He'll whistle you in and whistle you out. Right. I'll ask you a number of Scottish football general knowledge questions. If you don't know the answer, just say pass. I'll move on to the next one. How many of our questions you get right, you get the same opportunity to add on. So if you get 2 questions right, you get 2 chances to flip cards and make that 4. So your total 4.
Right.
Don't you worry, I'll keep you right, Tam. You just answer these questions.
Right.
You're fucked. All right. Right. So
if you get none right, we'll give you 1 chance.
Right.
Are you ready?
Right. So 30 seconds. All right. Pass if you don't know. All right, 30 seconds.
Name either of the Scottish the teams that Scotland will face in June this year.
Greece.
The Buddies is the nickname for which Scottish club?
Mirren.
Ex-Hearts defender Kai Rowles has just joined which MLS team?
Chicago Fire.
Name either of the top 2 Scottish Premiership top scorers.
Pass.
Which Scottish team did Alex Lowry play on loan for last season?
Last season?
Yep.
Hearts.
Just about to start, so I'll finish that. I'll give you another one. Young boys play in which Swiss city?
Oh dear. Couldn't tell you Swiss city.
Well, that's a bit of a problem then.
Switzerland. That pass.
Right.
Okay.
2. 2 out of 6.
How?
So, name either of the teams Scotland will face in June this year, Iceland or Liechtenstein.
When
Two
they play
friendlies.
Greece?
Before that.
You're a snake.
Greece
Why
is
have you
in
done
Greece
that?
is in November. But there's one
it's
before
it,
and then the away one's in
there's a away
November.
one.
What
So
a
the
snake, I was confident that.
The Buddies, yes, is the nickname of St Mirren. Ex-Hearts defender Kai Rawls has joined DC United.
Are Chicago Fire
They are,
side,
I
are
think they are.
Oh,
Are they? Is it?
That's Michael Jones, the Bulls, isn't it?
Name either of the two Scottish Premiership top scorers. Who did you say for that?
I passed. I would probably have had to have said, don't know, probably stabbed at Luke McKinnon.
Kyogo or Sam?
No way, Kyogo's no up there.
He is.
Is
Or
he?
Sam Dalby.
Tam the
Wait
Tim
there,
and all.
wait there.
Tam
Who-
the Tim and he
who
didn't
does
get any Celtic player. What?
Who's Sam Dalby? Who does he play for?
He's moved, isn't he?
I know.
Who?
No.
Aberdeen.
Oh, come on. Gotta get another shot if I get this right.
Aye.
We'll give you a point for this if you get it right.
Dundee United.
Yes,
Can I
Dundee
tell you who
United.
he's on loan for to get
Yes.
another point?
I know it.
Wrexham.
Yes,
Yes,
correct.
here we go. Looks a party.
Give him
That
another
doesn't
point.
get it. Begging for points.
Scottish football knowledge, Pedro.
Why
love
did
it.
you not ask me that?
Which Scottish team was Alex Lowry on loan to last season? Hearts, you are correct. Young boys play in which Swiss city? Do you know that?
What does it begin with?
B.
Basel.
Bern.
Is Basel a city? Is Basel a city?
Yeah.
Is it in Switzerland?
Yeah.
I think it is.
I think it is.
Is it?
Aye.
I just
Yeah.
whispered that.
Aye, but it's Bern. Aye.
You were
I was wrong anyway.
Okay, so we're giving them three.
So no 4 because you
Nah,
got
we'll go with 3. That's a
3.
bit
Fuck,
unfair,
you don't
innit?
get to decide. You're the
Sorry,
guest
sorry,
here.
sorry.
how are we
Well, we're
going?
getting him one for Dundee United, then Wrexham.
Well, we're not getting them 2 for that one question.
Okay.
Fucking nature.
I was gonna, but so 3.
Yeah, 3.
Three.
Three's. Right, so we have 5 of spades. Do you want to change that card or keep it?
Change it, please.
Change it.
Okay. So that was from the live show.
Yes.
You can tell we've never
I
changed
think it was
it.
Toddy, wasn't it, that was playing? Toddy and Chunky.
Toddy and Chunky.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
good card.
one. Jack Clubs.
Jack of clubs.
Right, so he's got 3
Higher
to
or-
make it 6.
higher or lower?
So if you get
Oh,
this
so it
right,
scores 3. If I get this
yeah.
right, it goes
Yeah,
to
yeah.
6. Oh.
well,
no,
if you
no,
get
it goes
so it goes to 4, then
4.
5, then 6.
So you need to get them all right. So you get a chance to get an extra point for each one you get right here.
right.
So what we're
Lower.
going? Lower.
Lower than Jack of Clubs.
That's got to be counted as lower.
It
Ace
is.
is
Yes,
lower.
it is.
Yes, high low ice, is it? Higher.
Ace of Diamonds. So you're going higher. So that's him on 4 now.
4, yes. He's on 5. It's middle of the road.
5
though.
of Hearts.
And he's on
He's on
5.
for
higher.
5. He's
Higher.
going higher.
Higher, aye.
For last choice of the day, higher than a 5.
Oh,
Two! Get that
Get it
ready!
ready! Yes!
2 of spades.
So you finished on 5.
5.
Puts you middle of the road or
Middle
leaderboard,
of the board.
innit? Middle of the board. Oh, there you
Nice.
see it. Just above Willie though, so you can remind him of that. He's just
Who's
above
top? Can I see that?
him. Aye,
It was Colin, was it?
Aye, Colin. Yeah,
The
yeah, he's,
Meneman?
yeah, he's top of the tree at the moment. Thanks for that, Tam. You enjoy it?
My pleasure,
Good?
aye.
Aye. Done all
I
right.
really
It was
enjoyed
all
that,
right.
Actually, aye. Apart from your questions. Bit
No,
nervous,
you were
but,
all right.
What,
You were all right.
them ones there or the ones before?
Both.
He's still working out who Sam Dalby plays with. He's fucking not got a clue.
Never heard him.
I know. I see Kyogo for me was too obvious an answer. It's obviously the one I would go for, but
Yeah,
But you
I
didn't.
don't know.
But it just feels like he's not scored that many this season, but he has.
I know.
Aye, so
Was it scored less than this last season? Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Yep. So that takes us on to fans' questions. So
Yes, fans' questions. So we put it out there today, obviously.
Oh, did you?
Did I?
on our social media. So
On our
thanks for
socials.
everyone for
Interact.
sending in your questions to Tam, and Pedro will take us away.
Aye, so it's a couple there's a few people that asked this question, Ian Thompson and David Marshall. What's your preferred position, Tam? Is it centre back, or do you prefer being up front leading the line?
Definitely being up front. Everybody grows up as a young boy, want to score goals, don't they? But I really do. I really enjoy playing centre half, but none can stop that feeling of scoring a goal, really, can it? But no, I think I did go through a spell playing up front. I got quite a lot of injuries, and then I've not had so many since I've went to centre half, and I've probably got longer runs of games and seasons. So I'm quite content at playing centre half.
Did you get 3 and 3 or 2 and 2 when you went up front?
2 and 3.
2 goals in 3 games. Decent return. Isn't it? Then the follow-up question was, what is a better feeling, a goal or a pinky up the bum?
Depends who the pinky comes with. Oh, wow.
Oh, Jesus, man, honestly.
And that was from John from TikTok. So
From where?
TikTok. Right.
God.
So next question. See who's not going to answer that. For Willie Golston, where do you think we should try to strengthen in the transfer window?
Centre half.
Centre half. To let you go back up top.
I think there's obviously a couple of areas. I'd probably say we're going to need a centre half. Obviously, depending on the situation with Reece Brain's loan, where it's getting extended or whatever, we're not sure. So we could probably, even with Reece staying, probably do a centre
Bit of cover
half
as well.
and then probably a striker.
To let you stay at the back.
You'll be on the
I'll
bench
go.
soon. You'll be on the fucking bench soon.
This is John West. Realistically, we've already kind of touched on this. Realistically, what is the aim for the season now in the league? Which
Probably try and get into mid-table as 7th, 6th, 7th, that kind of area, or if you can get mid-table,
Higher.
but higher if you can.
high as possible.
Yeah, as high as possible, but you would
Mathematically
probably
possible.
6th or 7th would be considered not bad after the half of the season that we've just had.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then lastly, favourite moment playing for the club from Alex Valence,
Oh,
who's part of the media team actually, Alex.
aye. It depends if it's collectively or personally.
Give us one of each.
Give it, aye, go
One
for it.
each. Collectively, it's probably got to be promotion. Don't think, obviously, staying up was a good feeling last year. Just the kind of way it worked out, having to go and get at least a point the last day.
Last game
It
of the
was a
season.
good
even.
buzz, but obviously probably more from the positive side of being promoted rather than staying in the league. I'd probably pick promotion for collectively. Personally, probably my hat-trick, scoring a hat-trick against Cove maybe, or last minute equaliser away to Falkirk last season was quite
Header.
a buzz, yeah.
That
Many
was a
hat tricks you got in your career?
One.
Just that one?
We've got the same amount of match balls, haven't we?
So same, aye. You're right,
Took the
mate.
name for a
Aye.
hat-trick of penalty
Aye.
saves. First time I've heard that, like, but...
Listen,
Is that when he was at the
That's-
Queen's game?
That was...
listen, it was the
that-
first time I think anyone in the UK
Has
has
that
done
been
it. So,
done before that, you know?
so supposedly when I done it, there was a whole kind of media hoo-ha, and I created that media hoo-ha. Of course I did. No, there was, and it was what I got told was there's 6 people in the world had done it ever. Nobody in the UK has ever done it. In 90 minutes, like 3 penalties.
Yeah.
I mean, how many teams actually concede 3 penalties
Yeah.
in 90 minutes is fucking quite.
They're on the one half.
Yeah, so
the same
and
end.
so the thing was that it was the quickest one on record. So there was nobody, because it was after, I think it was like, say, it was all done by 36 minutes. All
Oh,
3
was
of them.
it?
Aye, it was like
Is it 3 different takers?
3 different. Nicky Clark,
Mental.
Gav Riley.
Gav Riley, and Paul McMillan. They were the
Oh.
3.
Who was it against?
Dunfermline
Oh, right.
at East End. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was. Listen, it was one of them things. No, it was. It was just
6 folk in the world have done it. It's just one of the...
No, but it was just it was-
Fastest, so it's a record.
Aye, but it was kind of bizarre. Like, do you know what I mean? Because when I was literally I think Paul and I ended up playing with Paul at Dundee United the next season, and I, when he stepped up, you almost knew it's
Yeah.
bizarre. It's hard to explain, but you almost knew you were going to save it, and all the pressure was on him because you've saved 2 before. So it was just. it was, don't get me wrong, it was obviously good. I can mind just standing laughing, thinking what the fuck's just happened. So, but
I can just remember seeing the thing with the match ball.
The ball, aye.
Class.
I had the perm then, Peds.
You had 2 or 3 of them up your top, and all, did you?
Aye, that's my whole career. 1 2 here and 1 there.
I'm just collecting these, take them here.
Straight off the topic there, wasn't it?
He's fucking honestly, man.
Class, so. Where is it? Your mum and dad's?
My dad's got the ball, aye, and yeah, he's got the ball. So, and then
You'll find a few man of the match stuff, haven't you? As well,
we've got man of the match in the. This isn't about me.
No.
We got man of the match in the League Cup final when we won it. So obviously that was the kind of.
With Kilmarnock.
Aye, that was the kind of best one, obviously. But nah, so one hat trick. So that's obviously quite special for you, then, eh?
Aye.
Difficult to do scoring a hat trick.
2 penalties to be fair.
Oh well, hey, listen.
But that is a pressure though, because like you say, if you score the first one.
Aye, the second one was a bit of pressure to be fair. And that was
that for the hat trick? The third one?
No.
No.
The second big swing set me
So
up.
why don't you take penalties now?
I need to ask Willie that one.
Aye, Willie's on them because Eddie missed.
Aye,
I mean, he's missed a
couple.
Aye, so.
No, I like penalties, but
maybe if Willie misses,
to be fair, I'd probably trust. When Willie's taking a penalty, trust
no,
him,
I know. I just generally thought
I'd be more than happy to take them. To be fair,
because Aidan was taking them, wasn't he? Until he missed a
missed
couple. So what? I just didn't know why you didn't. Was it because you'd left the club and then when you came back in, he was on them, or
no? So it was penalty taker when I left. Came back. Big Tommy was on them last year, banging in the goals. Striker full of confidence was on the penalties, and he'd be on them again this season. I'd imagine if he wasn't injured.
If he's injured, right?
Aidan took over, and then. Well, he took it over.
Should have fucking started throwing your weight about, captain. Fucking.
Nah,
the road.
As long as it hits the back in there.
Aye, no, that's it. No, good questions as well. Thanks for sending in your questions. Much appreciated. Great to get them over to Tam as well. Promotion stuff, Pedro. We've still got merchandise to sell, haven't
we?
As you can see, he's still wearing it. Can he get rid of it? There we go.
No, we started doing black and gold Under Armour.
Oh wow!
Hey, honestly, man, every week, man, it's relentless, man. Relentless.
Hopefully, they'll start doing black gold gum shield. Cover these bad boys up. Aye, 100% of stuff.
Yeah, we've got pint glasses, our mugs that we've got here. We've got hats, scarves, key rings.
We need to get
T-shirts.
more of the thermos glasses.
Yes, thermal tankards. We'll get more of them in. So just message into us for any merchandise and we'll get out to you. I've got a couple of orders actually I need to put to your page.
Hey, if you want brawlies, if you want anything, just give us a shout. We'll make it happen.
We can make it happen. Social media, keep following us, subscribing.
Yes.
We got over the 200 mark, but we want to get more. So please on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel, the Black and Gold Podcast. Keep liking and sharing all this stuff. This episode, share it out to everyone. Get out there as much as we can. We want as much traction as possible.
Absolutely. Don't forget we are on Spotify as well.
Yes. So
if you're out walking or if you're at the
gym
or
whatever,
follow us
on Spotify.
Go. Follow us on Spotify.
Join
the other 3 folk. make it a party.
No, because again, when you follow all these things, it lets you know when everything's being dropped in. So
you'll get notified when the new one comes out.
Yeah. So get it done and support us at the Black and Gold Podcast. Pedro, been good, enjoyed.
Absolute pleasure having the big man here. Aye, fantastic, and thanks for coming in, Tam. You've really pulled us out the shit, actually. But no, it's been great because it's worked out really well because of timing and whatever else. So it was nice to get your point of view on the current situation. And they'll say a positive note for the fans that stuff is happening behind the scenes, that everyone's trying, pulling in the right direction.
I know, glad to be on. Hopefully that if I come on again it'll be more positive questions and not on the firing line, but aye.
It's good. I think we can do it again because this is a captain's catch up, so why can't we do it in 6 weeks' time and then we get a reflection of where we're at though, do you know what I mean? And maybe get a couple in before the end of the season, because I think it is important that the fans hear what's going on behind the scenes, because we're saying, look, stick with the team and absolutely stick with the team because they need your support. They need you at Galabank every week. Go and support them. The club needs the support as well. We've said that on every review show that it's so important. The fans are the 12th man. We've seen it.
A lifeline.
lifeline of the club.
12th man.
Yes, and be proud of the club as well. So, no, absolutely. Thanks a lot for coming, Tam, because it's been really good. I've actually really enjoyed it. It was a bit different, that just talking about current situations rather than, I enjoy going through people's careers and stuff, but I just think I felt as if it was a good time to do it and just let people know what's going on, how much they're still invested of finishing that mid-table spot in the league, which is absolutely achievable as well. So,
Sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
Confident.
All good?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, so thanks again, Tam, for joining us. And again, from me and Pete at the Black and Gold podcast, thanks for watching. And until the next time, we'll see you then.